AWS cloud. Okay, and this S3 service, we had different options, that means different resources. Most of the times we can use it for the uh, to store any amount of the data. Simple storage service, it's not a simple storage bucket. Simple storage service. S3 means already in the yesterday session also explain about this simple storage service. By using this simple storage service, we can store any amount of the data. That means scalable storage in the cloud. Scalable storage in the cloud. Okay, in the AWS cloud, if you want to store or retrieve any amount of the data or any type of the data, we may can use this S3 service. We may can use this S3 service, and this should be globally deployed. That means the S3 service, when you compare with the other services, this S3 service should be globally deployed. Right. Okay. Now let's all you people open the learner lab and just start the lab. So yesterday we can created different resources. Yesterday we can created different resources like sorry different buckets, and we can uploaded the objects as well. That means how we can upload and how much amount of the data simply we can upload through directly the upload option. Okay. So how much amount of the data or how much amount of the storage capacity simply we can upload through objects mode. So which is less than 160 GB. If any kind of the file which is less than 160 GB, those 160 GB simply we can upload it directly through the option called upload. That means upload option. So if the file size which is beyond 160 GB, you may can go through the different option like AWS CLI or AWS SDK or any kind of the different APIs option. Okay, this is the AWS console. Just go for the services category. At the last, we have the service called storage service. Storage category of the service. There, we can use this S3 service. Select the service as S3. Okay, this is the already the bucket which I have in the created bucket in the yesterday session. This bucket is with the yesterday's bucket. Okay, so let's we suppose to okay. If you want to delete the bucket, that means how we supposed to delete this bucket. Let's see first of all. Okay, so for the today's session, we will go with the different properties related to the created bucket as well. So how to delete the bucket in the sense, let's simply select the bucket which you may can selected, which you may can selected, and just go for the option called delete. Delete. Okay. So if we want to create this bucket, first we suppose to empty the bucket. That means the content which we are uploaded inside this bucket. Then we supposed to empty first. Empty first in the sense the objects which you are uploaded. So those objects first is supposed to delete. Let's select delete. Then to confirm the deletion, here we had an option called to confirm the deletion. Just type here permanently deleted. Permanently delete. Then take the option as the delete objects. Okay. So all you people, those who have any kind of the buckets, which you may can created in the yesterday session, just all you people delete all the buckets. Why? Because which leads a pricing. That means you had only some certain $100 credit only you may can give it. So to reduce the particular the overcasting, you need to delete the buckets and you need to empty the buckets as well. Okay. Now let's select delete option. That means select the bucket and then delete bucket. Delete bucket. Delete bucket. So automatically the bucket got deleted. And as of now, I don't have any kind of the buckets in my AWS console. Okay. So does all the people deleted the all the buckets which you may have created in the yesterday session? Just let me know. Those who are created the buckets in the yesterday session. So are you deleted? Yes or no? We'll go with the different buckets for the today's session. Yes or no? Deleted. Okay, right. Only one person got. Only one person got deleted the buckets. Okay. Remaining also you may can just please delete the buckets. Why? Because you may can go with the new buckets for the today's session. ఈ రోజు వేరే న్యూ బకెట్స్ క్రియేట్ చేసి వాటి మీద కాన్సెప్ట్స్ అనేవి మనం డిస్కస్ చేసుకున్నాం. నాట్ అన్ ఇష్యూ. ఓకే. సో మనం బకెట్స్ అనేవి ఎలా డిలీట్ చేసుకోవాలి అండ్ అలాగే ప్రైస్ ఎలా రిడ్యూస్ చేసుకోవాలి. దట్ మీన్స్ the pricing for the storage objects and all these things. So that's why I can explain to you regarding the bucket deletion and all these things. Right? Now we will go for that means a different bucket parameters like the properties and the permissions and all these things. Now let's all you people create a bucket. Create a bucket. Create a bucket. Give the bucket name. The bucket name must and should be unique. And mention the or give the object ownership. Let's enable the ACL and just disable this block public access. So which is enabled for all the things which you require. Now just disable this block public access and I acknowledge that the current settings might result in this bucket and the objects becoming public and create bucket. Let's create bucket. So only the thing you need to do it is the bucket creation only. Don't do anything. I will explain what you supposed to do. Sir, bucket ఒకటి create చేయండి అంతే అండి. Later I am explaining what you need to do. And let me know whether you are done or not. If you are done, just post a message in the chat box as done, sir. I will look up at chart. which is very simple. Among all the services in the AWS, S3 is the simple service and S3 is the main service. So based on the S3 only, we had different types of the jobs as well, only with the S3. Okay. So if you are completed, just post a message in the chat box as done sir or created sir. Only few people got completed. Remaining. Okay, right. Now, only people, what you need to do is just take a notepad from your computer. So from your PC, take the notepad application. Take the notepad application. Take the notepad application and save the file. Save the file in the desktop. With the extension, any extension. But save this file as index.html. Save the file as index.html. Save the file index.html. Create a bucket. Create a bucket in the AWS S3 service. Take the notepad application and save the file as index.html. Okay. Then write some sample HTML code inside this index.html. Inside the index.html, add some HTML code. I think only people HTML. Let's add some h1 tag. That's it. Welcome to the AWS internship. H1 tag close. HTML close. If you are having that means if you are knowledge on the HTML, you can add different things like paragraphs or body or different titles and all these things. Simply you can add, not an issue, but which is sufficient. Which is sufficient. These 3 lines of the code, which is sufficient. Okay. Once done, just let me know. Once done, let me know. and save the file. నోట్ప్యాడ్ తీసుకోనండి, నోట్ప్యాడ్ లో జస్ట్ 3 lines ఆఫ్ కోడ్ రాయండి చాలు. కంప్లీట్ చేశాక చెప్పండి. So if you had any doubts or writing in the HTML code or anything, just you can post your queries in the chat. Okay, so most of the people are completed, which is very simple. Okay, now let's go back to the S3 console. Now open the S3 console. S3 console. So click on your bucket name. Click on bucket name. Click on bucket name. Now try to upload the file. Yeah, it's just very simple code. So code ఏం లేదండి, HTML open now. H1 tag open. Welcome to the AWS internship. H1 tag close. HTML close. That's it. 3 lines of the code. That's it. 3 lines of index.html code on. HTML. H1 tag open. And then just a simple words. Welcome to the AWS internship. H1 tag close. Then HTML close. That's it. Okay. Now what you need to do is just go back to the S3 console. Upload the file. Upload the file. ఇప్పుడు మీరు ఏదైతే index.html అని సేవ్ చేశారో నోట్ ప్యాడ్ లో ఆ ఫైల్ అప్లోడ్ చేయండి. index.html అని చెప్పేసి ఫైల్ ఓపెన్ చేశారు, ఆ ఫైల్ అప్లోడ్ చేయండి. దాన్ని అప్లోడ్. Got it? Add the file. Upload the file and let me know once you're done. So those who are done, post a message in the chat box as done, sir. Okay. Now let's go back to the console, AWS console. Just see the object which you can upload it. Select the object. copy the URL which you can upload it, and just go for the web search. In the yesterday session, what we can done the same process is supposed to follow here. Whether you got anything which is well and good, if you are getting the error like this message, error message access denied, then go back to the S3 console. Just select the file and make public. Make public. Now let's go reload the page. You will get the actual content which you can upload it in uh, the file. Okay. సో సేమ్ ఫైల్లో ఏదైతే మీరు అప్లోడ్ చేశారో ఆ కంటెంట్ అనేది మీకు ఇక్కడ కనిపిస్తూ ఉంటుందండి. అదర్ యూ గాట్ ది సేమ్? డస్ ఆల్ ద పీపుల్ గాట్ ది సేమ్? ఎస్, నో? డస్ ఆల్ ద పీపుల్ గాట్ ద సేమ్? Right. Okay, which is very simple. That means if any kind of the HTML content or anything will be there, we had. So which is simply we can upload it in the S3 console, then automatically we will get the actual output with the same options. Okay. So here, while uploading the particular file, that means not only this kind of the sample file. So here simply you can observe here. Yeah, I will explain domain and all these things. I will explain later. For the tomorrow session, I will explain regarding these particular domain and how we can convert these particular domains and all these things for the tomorrow session. But today's session, we will see the particular class which we can upload it. Okay. Now you can observe here. Just simply you can uploaded here. This is the actual file. That means this is the actual object which you can uploaded here. And this is the actual the type of the file which you can upload it, HTML file. That means any amount of the data and any type of the data that simply you can upload in the AWS cloud. This is the date which you can upload it, and the size of the file is the 16 bytes. 16 bytes of the file simply you can upload. And this is important, the storage class. The storage class which is very important. Now all you people just note down the storage class. Yeah, after uploading, I will explain later. Wait for a few minutes. How we can modify and how we can go with that particular things and all these things. I will explain later. Wait. Okay. So here, the storage class. Which is important. Okay. So here the storage class is nothing but the standard storage class will be there. Standard. So any type of we had different types of the storage classes. We had different types of the storage classes. Among these, if you want to upload any file or any type of the thing in the S3, this is the standard. That means the default storage class. Standard is the default storage class for the object upload. Default storage class. So if you want to store anything in the AWS cloud, that means using the S3 service, which is taken as a standard storage class only. So we had different types of the storage classes. Let's simply we can go here again. Click on the object file. Click on the object. There you supposed to here just scroll down to here. Here you may can observe here storage class. Amazon S3 will offers a range of different storage classes for the different use cases. Let's simply I had some certain storage amount of the data which I have need for the that means frequently access. Frequently access. Let's simply I want to regularly access, that means for the immediate upload and for the immediate download. For the immediate upload and for the immediate download. Let's simply I can select the standard storage class. Okay, but sometimes I doesn't require the that means the file which I can access infrequently. That means for a 3 months I required, or for a 6 months I required, or for the 9 months, or for a 1 year. So this kind of the some different time levels or the different types of the time series required to I want to that means access that particular thing or that particular data which I can uploaded in the buckets or in the S3 service. So there, what should I suppose to do in that particular scenario? This kind of the standard storage class which is doesn't required. That means I can go for the different options. Why? Because these standard storage class should be limited to, or this should be having some particular pricing, and that particular another storage class should be having the different pricing. Okay, so in this way, you may can easily understand by going for the actual S3 documentation. I will show you here storage classes in S3. You can observe here object storage classes, Amazon S3. The very first one is the standard storage class for the immediate upload and the immediate download. Okay, yeah, this I will post the actual URL in the chat box as well. Just once go through that one as well. The URL simply I can post in the chat box. Just go through once all of you, which is easily understandable as well. So the very first one is the S3 standard. As of now, we are utilizing. That means for the is S3 should be frequently accessed data. Simply we can use this one. Okay, and this is mainly designed for the 99 point. That means the durability of 99.9999. That means 9 nines. This is the actual durability of the S3 storage standard storage class. Durability. And the availability also simply we require the durability in the sense how much amount of that means the data which you can uploaded in the S3 bucket, how long it should be serviced, whether the data should be reliable or not. The data should be reliable once if you are uploaded. As of now, for this date, we may can uploaded some 500 GB of the data. The same 500 of GB of the data should be reliable after the next year or not, or otherwise whether the particular data should be lost in any situation like if any kind of the data breaches occurred, or if any kind of the cyber breaches occurred. So this kind of the error should occur. So how long it should be serviced with for the different cyber attacks or different situations, that should be we can call as the durability. And one more thing, the availability as well. Availability. Availability should be mainly depends upon the that means whether we are accessing that particular data, it should be automatically. That means once if you are simply click on that particular S3 service, whether it should be immediately available or not. It should be immediately available or not. So for this kind of the standard storage class, the availability should be 99.99% of the availability. 99.99% of the availability. Okay. So this is regarding the S3, that means Amazon S3 standard storage class. So we had one more storage class, which is nothing but the S3 intelligent tiering, which is also important. The very next one, S3. All of you note down, everyone. Why? Because if any kind of the once if you are go through any kind of the AWS perspective interview as well, most of the questions raised from the storage class only, which are very important. Okay, that means for certain amount of the data, the questions are in uh, the scenario based. That means I had some kind of the data, then how can I store that particular? That means which kind of the storage class if I suppose to select, which kind of the storage class should be suitable for my data. So this kind of the questions will rise. So the very next one is the S3 intelligent tiering. So S3 intelligent tiering is nothing but this. This is also one of the major storage class. That means it doesn't know about the data pattern. That means some client he may can given some sort of data. He had some 500 GB of the data or 1 TB of the data. He may can given to us, but he doesn't know, and we doesn't know about that particular data how it should be happens. That means unknown changes or unknown patterns of the data, unknown changes or unknown patterns of the data. Okay, so we doesn't know how much long or how much days we may can store those kind of this data, or we doesn't know about how many days or in which storage class we supposed to store this particular data. So in that situation, what we supposed to what we supposed to do is we may can select the particular S3 intelligent tiering option. That means S3 intelligent tiering storage class. Okay, this is the very first cloud storage that should automatically reduce our storage costs by uploading the objects in your S3 bucket. Okay, and here this should be mainly gives an durability of with the same the durability of 99.99 as well. The durability for this kind of the standard S3 intelligent tiring as well, 99.99 durability, and the availability also availability is 99.9% of the availability only. 99.9% of the availability only. That is regarding the S3 intelligent tiring. And the very next one is the S3, S3, the standard infrequent access. S3, standard infrequent access. Once if you are compare with the previous one, that means the S3 standard storage class, that should be mainly making use for the frequently accessed data. But S3 IA simply we can call. Okay. So this kind of the storage class we may can use it for the infrequently accessed data. That means once in uh, 3 months, once in a year, or once in a 3 years. So that means any kind of the data. That means which we may can less frequently. The data which is accessed less frequently, but it should requires whenever it should be needed. That means immediate upload or the immediate download, which is less compared with the standard storage class. Okay, and for this also the durability will be the same when you compare with the other the remaining options, the remaining storage classes, the durability. And that so availability 99.9% of the availability. This is the standard infrequent access. So this all this kind of the storage classes should be uh, over a more number of availability zones. More number of availability zones. More than three availability zones. This kind of the storage classes simply you may can use. Okay. So one more storage class we had, which is S3 one zone infrequent access. S3 one zone infrequent access. So this kind of the storage class should be for a single availability zone only. That means the very next one is the S3 infrequent one zone infrequent access. This could be mainly designed for the accessed with less frequently. That means infrequently accessed data, but it should be particularly hold for a single particular availability zone only. Okay. So if you are selected this kind of the storage class, that means there is no requirement of the particular data backup for those kind of these things which are not available in this kind of the storage class. One zone. It should be particularly dedicated to the single zone only, single availability zone, single availability zone, and infrequently accessed data, infrequently accessed data. Okay, and the durability also, which is same when you compare with the remaining options, but the availability should be the very less among all these services. This kind of the particular storage class availability. Availability is only for the 99.5% of the availability only. 99.5% of the availability only. Okay, mainly these are all the four classes, the storage classes. You may can go with the basic options, but we had the remaining options, that is for the data archiving, which is Glacier. One more storage class, Glacier, which is very important. Glacier. Glacier is also one of the major storage class in the AWS S3. Okay, for the data archiving purpose, Amazon S3 Glacier instant retrieval. For the data archiving, that means for the instant retrieval, which is an archiving storage class, which you may can deliver the lowest cost range. That means for the lowest cost storage for the long-lived data. Okay, and which you may can readily access it, and which requires retrieval in within few seconds. That means Glacier instant retrieval. Instant retrieval. So all you people just note down because which are very important. Okay, so this should be long live archival of the data. Okay, that means immediate upload is not possible. Immediate upload taken time. Immediate upload, but it should be immediate accessible as well. Immediate upload, it should take some time, but for the immediate accessible, the data should be immediately accessible. The Glacier instant retrieval, and this should be this kind of the data simply we can access it over a 6 months or over a 9 months. So this kind of the uh, infrequently or rarely accessed data we can use it for the, that means the storage class, less storage class, less storage class. Okay, and the very next one is the sixth one, Glacier. This is also the archival data. Yeah, the durability is same. Durability is 99.99. So only people note down the availability and the durability, which are very, very important. Those things only, most of the cases you may can observe. Durability and the availability. Availability is also 99.9% of the availability. Okay. And the very next one is Glacier flexible retrieval. Glacier flexible retrieval. This is also one of the major storage class. Glacier flexible retrieval. Formerly, this should be called as the S3 Glacier. The S3 Glacier flexible retrieval will very low cost storage, up to 10% of the that means lower cost when you compare with the S3 instant retrieval. Lower cost 10% when you compare with the Glacier instant retrieval. Very less cost. Okay, so this kind of the flexible retrieval for the immediate upload and the immediate download also, which is possible here. That means for the archived data, which you may can access it 1 or 2 times for a single year, and also this could be you may can retrieved synchronously. Okay, so most of the cases this should be designed for the durability of 99.11 of the durability. 99.9 of the durability and the 99.99% of the availability. So based on your situation and based on your data, you may can select among any of these options as a 6 options of the storage class. Like simply you may can go through here. When you compare with the storage class, here you had the storage class will be there. Here the standard storage class. This is the basic or the default storage class for your the data stored in the S3 console. Okay, so based on your data requirements, based on your data requirement, you may can store or you may can select any of these options. Okay, I had lot amount of, that means I had so much amount of the data which I supposed to store. Then what should I suppose to do? Then I may can select based on the options which I may can select. Okay, mainly you need to concentrate on the particular storage class. So once if you are go through this particular storage class, we had one more storage class will be there, which is not required, but we can doesn't go for that particular storage class, we can call as the reduced redundancy as well. One more storage class. In the practical, we doesn't go for that one. So mainly we can concentrate on these six storage class. Okay, how the particular data should be behaves when we go selected this kind of the storage class. Now we will see. Okay, just give me 2 minutes time. All you people, you had some sample quiz. You make an answer. You had only 2 minutes of time. What is an AWS EC2? Okay. So the people, those who are in the meeting, 187 members are in the meeting. All the people you need to answer. Up to now, only 23 people got answered. Just read the answer and give the answer carefully. We had one more poll or one more quiz we had after this one. 38 people answered only. Hey, remaining also answer. Session వింటున్నారు కదా, జస్ట్ మీరు క్వశ్చన్స్ అవి ఆన్సర్ చేయడమే కదా. ఆన్సర్ ఫస్ట్. 53 out of 184 only. Yeah, questions అవడానికి కూడా it will take some 2 seconds only. Why don't you take some such kind of the time? Maybe I don't know. $64 out of 184. Still 120 members are there. The time is already 130 minutes. 1 minute 30 seconds. But 50% participation కూడా లేదు. ఏంటి జస్ట్ సెషన్ కి జాయిన్ అయిపోయి ఫోన్స్ అక్కడ పక్కన పడేసి మీ పని మీరు చూసుకుంటున్నారా? ఓకే, all the people listen. By this weekend, for this Saturday, you had a sample review on the concepts which you can cover. సో అన్నిటి మీద ఒక శాంపుల్ రివ్యూ ఉంటుందండి. ఏం టైం వేస్తా కూర్చోవాలిక ఒక క్వశ్చన్ కూడా. ఓకే, EC2 అంటే స్టోరేజ్ సర్వీస్ అంట. ఎంతమంది పెట్టారు? టోటల్లీ 105 members ఆన్సర్ చేశారు. టోటల్ గా ఏదో ఒకటి సెలెక్ట్ చేయడం. EC2 అంటే ఆల్రెడీ మీరు 3 days డిస్కస్ చేశారు కదా. EC2 యూజ్ చేసి ఏం చేస్తున్నారు, సర్వర్స్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తున్నారని చెబుతున్నారు. AWS పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ వ్యూస్ లో ఇన్స్టాన్సెస్ అన్నారు. బట్ స్టిల్ EC2 అంటే స్టోరేజ్ సర్వీస్ అని కొంతమంది 22 మెంబర్స్ స్టోరేజ్ సర్వీస్ అంటారు. ఐ డోంట్ నో వాట్ యు ఆర్ డూయింగ్. అండ్ కొంతమంది సెక్యూరిటీ సర్వీస్ వి డజంట్ డిస్కస్ అప్ టు నౌ రిగార్డింగ్ ది సెక్యూరిటీ సర్వీస్. Maybe I don't know, 22 plus 17, how much? 39 people got given the wrong answer. 39 plus 8, 47. 50-50, only 50%. Okay. I think totally in the meeting, totally we had in the meeting 190 members. So all the people, 190 results, I can see in the quiz. One more quiz ఇప్పుడు నేను poll చేస్తున్నా అండి. You need to answer. Yeah, 4 marks. 4 questions only in that particular quiz. Let's all the people answer. We had only 4 minutes of time. EC2 full form. What is EC2? Okay. What is EC2? Either it should be the Elastic Cloud Compute, Elastic Compute Cloud, Elasticity Compute Cloud. Okay. You had only 4 minutes time for the 4 questions only. Answer all. Andar kuda answer cheyandi. All these questions we are already discussed. So don't go for any kind of the Google search or anything. Why? Because it's only 4 minutes of time. EC2 full form, and then EBS full form. What is meant by the EBS? And how many IP versions we had? VPC full form. These are all the only 4 questions. You had only already 1 minute over. Up to 53 people got given answers only. All these 190 people are there in the meeting. Only people you need to answer. Still 100 members or more to answer the questions. Only 1 minute 30 seconds of time left. Answer fast. You had only 1 minute 30 seconds time left. All you people, please give the responses for the quiz 2. The very first question, it is the EC2 full form, and the next question is EBS full form. And the third one, how many types of IP versions we had? It's very simple. And one more question, VPC full form. What is meant by the VPC? Either it should be the virtual public cloud, virtual private cloud, virtual permitted cloud. And one more EBS full form, EC2 full form, and IP versions. 30 seconds left. Fill fast. Give the responses quick. Yeah. Time up. For the 4 questions, most of the people, for the first question, listen all of you. Out of 195, only 130 people got given the answers. Remaining 65 people got sleeping. Maybe I don't know. They may can simply on the meeting, and they may can simply sleeping, or they may can done on their own way, or whatever it may be. That's up to you. So the very first question, easy to full form. I think already while the session is going, we had already discussed about 3 days regarding the what is meant by the EC2 and all these things. So EC2 is it's elastic compute cloud, and it's a second option, elastic compute cloud. So 104 people got given the correct response. I think 22 plus 4, 26 people got given wrong answer. And one more thing, EBS full form, that means the abbreviation EBS we are asking. 130 people got given. I think ఎకనామిక్ బ్లాక్ స్టోర్ అనే ఆప్షన్ కానీ ఈజీ బ్లాక్ స్టోర్ అనే ఆప్షన్ కానీ మనకి ఎటువంటిది కూడా లేదండి. ఇట్స్ ఓన్లీ ది ఎలాస్టిక్ బ్లాక్ స్టోర్. లిసన్ ఆల్ ఆఫ్ యూ. And one more thing, which is a very simple question, and straight forward question: how many IP versions we had? While we are discussing about the networking service regarding the IP classes and all these things, I can explain regarding this. How many types of IP versions we had? Only two. Uh, Only two. Which is the 130 people got answered. Out of 130, 112 given the correct response. And the very last one, the fourth question, VPC abbreviation. What is meant by the VPC? I think again for this also 130 people got given the response. It's a virtual private cloud. That's a nice 88% given the correct response out of 130 for the EBS and as well as the VPC. Okay, you need to read and once listen and whether the internship is going, you need to practice as well. మీకు AWS అకౌంట్ ఇచ్చాం కదా, AWS అకౌంట్స్ లో మీరు ప్రాక్టీస్ చేస్తే అక్కడ సర్వీస్ మీద క్లిక్ చేస్తే మీకు ఆటోమేటిక్ గా అబ్రివేషన్స్ అన్ని కూడా వస్తాయండి. వెరీ బేసిక్ వన్. అదర్వైజ్ సింప్లీ నేను మీకు నోట్స్ కూడా నోట్ చేసుకోమని చెప్తున్నాను. ద నోట్స్ యాజ్ వెల్, ఎవ్రీథింగ్ షుడ్ బి దట్ మీన్స్ ద కంటెంట్ విచ్ ఈస్ రిక్వైర్డ్ ఫర్ అస్. That's the content only I can write in here. You can note down. Okay.
Yeah, Ramakrishna, they need to submit a daily log to the college, to get their 2 credits.
Okay, sir. Yeah.
As per the university rules, JNTU-A, JNTU-K, or JNTU-GB. Okay. They need to submit daily log along with a mini project and a certificate as well. And those who got less attendance will consider the quiz participation as well. If they participate actively in the quiz, okay, there is only 66% of participation is there. What happened to others?
Okay, I will ask you, sir.
You inform them, you talk with them, ask them if they have any technical issue.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Please carry on. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Listen, only out of 190 people, maybe I don't know, only 130 people got given the responses. The remaining people, whether they are in the session or not, Maybe I don't know. If you are facing any kind of the technical glitches, just you can ask me regarding the whether the poll is not correctly responded to you or whether the poll is not appears on your screen. So if any kind of the issues, just once please write. Why? Because uh, these daily quizzes also will comes to an just please respond. Anyone? That means what happens? I think 198 people got attended for the session, but only given 130 responses only. 130 responses మాత్రమే వచ్చినాయండి. ఏంటి రీజన్? The roll number Prashant 2155184227 from the guide. ఏంటి వీడియో ఆన్ చేసి నువ్వు? So some of the people got yeah okay. Some of the people they doesn't get the poll, sir. So listen, while the session is going, so you need to careful. Each and everything should be observed. Okay. So once if you are notified, so that's up to you, your thinking. Okay. Just careful. Okay, poll is not displayed. Poll అనేది వస్తుందండి మీకు. జస్ట్ మీరు మీటింగ్ లో ప్రాపర్ గా ఉండాలి. అండ్ అలాగే యూ హ్యాడ్ ఏ ప్రాపర్ నెట్వర్క్ బ్యాండ్విడ్త్ యాజ్ వెల్. నెట్వర్క్ బ్యాండ్విడ్త్ అనేది మీకు ప్రాపర్ గా ఉండాలి. అప్పుడు పోల్ అనేది మీకు డిస్ప్లే అవుతుంది. నాట్ అన్ ఇష్యూ అండి. ఓకే. సో నైస్. ఓకే, విల్ గో బ్యాక్ టు అవర్ కాన్సెప్ట్ అపార్ట్ ఫ్రమ్ దిస్ ఆల్ దీస్ థింగ్స్. Why? Because this kind of the polls and quizzes also will comes to the count as well. Okay. So the active participation is required, sir. The active participation will require. So if any kind of the registration problem, some of them are posting as they may had the payment issues and the registration problems. I will explain later. Okay, just be in the meeting. Now let's go back to our concept. This is regarding the storage classes. So how different types of the storage classes and how they make an, that means while after uploading the different objects in the S3 bucket, so how the actual behavior of that particular storage class with the once the storage class should be changed from one category sorry one type to another type, we will see in the next session. Okay. And now let's simply go back to the bucket. Click on the bucket name. So actually this is the bucket console. You need to go with this particular naming. That means this is the S3 service. So inside this S3 we can go with the buckets. So inside this bucket, this is the bucket name, and these are all the parameters or the resources which will be which belongs to the particular bucket, the objects. inside the bucket different types of the objects, the properties, permissions, metrics, management, and the access points. Okay. Now let's only people just please objects regarding the objects already we discussed about the different objects and how we can upload the objects and how we can make public and how we can go with that particular sample URL and all these things we can discuss. So most of the particular objects dot PNG or dot JPG or this or dot HTML, this kind of the objects simply we can access it through URL. Or in some situations, some kind of the objects which you can upload it in the S3 bucket, so they can directly got downloaded while you are accessing this kind of the objects. They can't display it through URL. They can directly download it to your system. Just make a note, like any kind of the .txt file and any kind of the some particular coding files, different types of the some of the files will be there. Okay, those kind of the file should be downloaded on your system. Now let's all the people select the bucket properties. Select bucket properties, which are very, very important. Bucket properties. So only people note down and you need to maintain a daily log note. Why? Because you need to submit for the entire 2 months of the session. Just make a log sheet. That means on which day, what are the concepts we explained and what are the concepts we discussed in the session. All these things you're supposed to maintain a daily log note as well. Uh, so what you need to do is just make a note of everything. నోట్ చేసుకోనండి నోట్ చేసుకుని డైలీ ఒక లాగ్ బుక్ లాగా మెయింటైన్ చేస్తే దట్ థింగ్ యూ నీడ్ టు సపోజ్ టు దట్ మీన్స్ యూ నీడ్ టు సబ్మిట్ వైల్ ద ప్రాజెక్ట్ ఆర్ ద మినీ ప్రాజెక్ట్ యూ ఆర్ submitting. So this kind of the things we can got networking issues and all these things, but be careful while answering the poll. పోల్ అనేది ఏదో ఒకటి నేను చెప్తానండి డైలీ మనకి పోల్ అనేది ఉంటుంది. అంటే ప్రీవియస్ కాన్సెప్ట్స్ లో ప్రీవియస్ సెషన్ లో ఏదైతే మనం డిస్కస్ చేసిన కాన్సెప్ట్స్ నుంచి ఒక పోల్ అనేది మీకు ఇవ్వడం జరుగుతుంది. ఓకే, పీపీటీ షేర్ చేస్తాను. పీపీటీ అంటే పీపీటీ మనం డిస్కస్ చేసుకున్న కాన్సెప్ట్స్ అవ్వలేదు. మనం డిస్కస్ చేసుకున్న కాన్సెప్ట్ తర్వాత దెన్ ఐ విల్ share the PPT as well, not an issue. Okay, now let's simply we can go for the bucket properties. Okay, that's all the people in the same console, that is in the bucket properties. Just please post a message in the chat box as yes sir, whether you are in the same properties of the bucket or not. Yes, no, just please post a message in the chat. Only 2 people, 3 people got responded. 4, 5 people out of 203 people, only few people got responded. Maybe I don't know the remaining persons. Just respond fast, respond quickly. Yeah, okay, right. Thank you. Nice. Okay, the bucket properties. In the bucket properties, each and everything should be defined. That means related to the bucket, what are the actual resources we can do and how we can access it with the different that means different service or the different resource in the AWS cloud. So all these things should be we can go with the bucket properties only. Now let's simply you can observe here the very first one, the bucket overview, the property of the bucket, which is nothing but the bucket overview. The bucket overview, which is nothing but the this is the bucket region, on which particular region you can simply deploy this bucket. And this is the ARN, which is very, very important while we are connected with the another resource. This is simply called as Amazon resource name. Amazon resource name. Amazon ARN is simply nothing but Amazon resource name. This could be simply while we are connected with another AWS service or another AWS resource. This ARN must and should requires. With the particular ARN only, we can simply connect with any kind of the other resource. This ARN colon AWS colon S3 colon that particular bucket name. This is the ARN. Okay, and then the very next property is the bucket versioning. Bucket versioning. Bucket versioning also important. That means versioning. I think already you can listen about the versioning and all these things. So versioning is nothing but they should keep maintaining or keep tracking the or keep maintaining the multiple variants of the same file. So the previous bucket uploading. So simply I can told you as just upload index.html file. I can simply showing as you can asking you regard index.html. Just think as a scenario, sample scenario, how it should be there. You had one project which is on the some basic code. You can work with some particular 1 month of code. 1 month of code. You need to work with some particular project. And daily you need to submit or daily you need to show that particular project code to your project manager as well. So there what happens mainly you can write some code up to 5 days. You may and you can show that particular code to your project manager. And what he can do is he can told you some suggestions. That means he can say some suggestions to that particular code, and we can give a feedback just improve those kind of that particular things and add some content. So all these things you can suggest, right? And after that you can add some that particular based on that particular feedback you can add or you can modify that particular code in such a way that based on the project outcome. After 10 days again you can go back. That means you can again went to your project manager and see that particular, that means showed that particular code. Yeah, he can see the project outcome and he can appreciate you. He can appreciate you on the 10th day. Okay, now again you can say add some more content to improve the project. You can work on some more days, some more 10 days, and you can add some more content. Some more content you can add to that particular code. Then what happens? Again on 20th day, you can went to the project manager and showed the same project. And what you can do on the 12th day, you can show the particular project code, which is good. Though, so how you can show that means the previous content of that particular code, which is only possible through the by maintaining the particular versioning or by enabling the particular version. So here in this particular bucket property, the versioning is nothing but so keeping multiple variants of an object in the same bucket. Okay, so by using that means by maintaining the versioning, you can preserve, retrieve, and restore every version of each and every object stored in the Amazon S3 bucket. Okay, so by using the versioning, you can easily recover from both unintended or any kind of the failures of that particular bucket. Okay, so this kind of the versioning most probably we can use it for the maintaining multiple variants of objects in the same bucket. So let's simply we can consider the same bucket here. Inside this bucket, we had the one sample object which is the index.html. So daily we can work with this index.html for a 1 month of time. So what we need to do? We need to enable the versioning. We need to enable the versioning. So whenever if you are enable the versioning, it should maintain some different or it should maintain different variants of the objects in the same bucket. Okay, with the different version ID as well, which is the versioning. We will see the versioning concept. That means through different with that particular index.html file for the tomorrow session. Okay, and the tags are nothing but so we can use this bucket tags to track the storage costs and maintaining the buckets. That means for a single bucket how we can, that means I had some number of buckets in my bus AWS S3 service. So how should I maintain that particular storage options, and how should I maintain that particular uh, buckets which are present inside the uh, S3 console through some particular name tags. So those kind of the name tags should simply I can maintain through key value based. Okay, and the encryption, the server side encryption is automatically applied to the objects which you may can stored in the new buckets. So all these things we can discuss on tomorrow. Not an issue. Intelligent tiering, archiving configuration, ACLs, server access logins, static website hosting. All these things should be we can discuss the remaining properties uh, for the tomorrow session. Not an issue. Okay, that's it for the day.